Hello friends, it's April with Learn, Do, Become Radio. This is episode 227. I'm sharing how changing my motivation significantly reduced my stress. And I hope what we cover today is going to be a support to you. If you're brand new, we help people who are overwhelmed by the details of life to create simple systems so they can do what matters most. We talk a lot about getting organized and architecting a life of excellence, and we're so grateful to have you as part of our community. All the links I talk about today will be available at learndobecome.com/episode 227. Okay, but before I get started, I just want to highlight a couple of Learn, Do, Become community members who are doing such an amazing job. We call these shares Step Wins because these are members of our Steps to Everyday Productivity program, STEP, and it's helping people create a command central to get everything organized so your mind feels calm. It's so fun. And this first one is from Judy. She says, I've been doing STEP for about a week now. I had really hit bottom when it came to being disorganized and dissatisfied with how my life was unfolding. I have so much to be grateful for, but papers and piles were just eating at me all the time. I wanted to share that even though I've only just begun, the clarity of mind and the ability to actually accomplish so many things this week is blowing me away. So far, the most valuable parts are the context-based next actions list and the concept of 10-minute microbursts. Instead of looking at my clock and saying, I only have 10 minutes before I have to leave, so I might as well just scroll through my phone, I ask myself, what can I accomplish in 10 minutes? And then I go do it. I'm knocking off tasks left and right, and my brain feels so much clearer. I've also done a brain dump of all the projects I had swimming around in my mind, and those are on a whiteboard now, unsorted, but categorized as to which of us is responsible for it. If this is all I get from this program, and it definitely won't be, it's already been worth it. Okay, so I love this from Judy. Couple things though. If you're like, I'm not in your Steps to Everyday Productivity program, can I still be successful? 100%. If you go to learndobecome.com/directory, you can see an organized list of all of our free podcasts and videos and resources to help you for sure create your next actions list and do microbursts. So there's all kinds of stuff to be able to help you. But really, I just want to emphasize that what Judy is explaining is she's getting out of overwhelm. The goal isn't to never be able to take a rest or never scroll through your phone or just to have to be productive every day. But as you get out of that backlog and then you start feeling amazing, now you have time to just rest without the constant pull thinking you should be doing something else. Okay, so thank you, Judy. Super happy for you. This next community spotlight is from Kathleen. She said, I did a fuller mind sweep than ever before, and this time I actually processed every item into one of my step lists: projects, routines, one-off tasks, context-based next actions list, and goals. I also listened to all 4 Create Your Year/month/week/day podcasts again today. Those are available here on our Learn, Do, Become Radio, and worked through the fillable year worksheet. I did it quickly, not a lot of thought in the moment, but it flowed so nicely out of big patterns identified while processing my mind sweep. It's nice to suddenly have clarity on my goals for the next 13 months. I think she wrote this back in early December or late November. Okay. But she said then, my major step win came unexpectedly 5 minutes after I'd completed all that processing and the Create Your Year worksheet. My dad walked in the door and wanted to make dinner together, which wasn't on my agenda for this evening. With my mind freshly centered on my big relationship goals for the year, including with him, plus a nagging to discuss with Dad item on my context-based next actions list, plus awareness of a big current project for which his input would be helpful, I was able to get excited about cooking spaghetti with him, and we just had the nicest hour and a half together. The funny thing is, he doesn't have a clue about STEP or about how many parts of my STEP life just came together in a win. I love that her dad's just thinking he's making spaghetti, and she's like, I am getting all of my agenda items done. Anyway, that's really sweet. And if I could make spaghetti with my dad again, I would do it in a heartbeat. So anyway, love this so much. It was just so inspiring, and I love the positivity and excitement and encouragement that comes from our members. And again, whether you're in our programs or currently checking out the free resources on the site, you can do this too. Now, as a little side note, I'm glad to be back with you on the podcast. I've taken a few weeks off, but my broken shoulder has been healing for several weeks. I just started physical therapy. Holy cow, I didn't know how painful that was going to be, but that's what I'm doing right now. But things are looking up. So anyway, thank you for your love and kind words, and glad to be back. Okay, so let's dive into today's discussion about motivation. Do you ever experience a constant, perhaps low-grade stress behind the scenes as you're working to transform your life? But would you prefer to feel light and happy while you're moving forward on the things that matter most? So today I'm sharing a little of what's been going on behind the scenes over the past few years, and I hope that the lessons I've learned along the way will be valuable to you. Because whether we're focused mostly on getting organized right now, or we're feeling stress around something like parenting or health issues, finances, or relationships, it's normal not to have everything figured out at the beginning. However, even a slight shift in what motivates us can make a big difference. In one sentence, here's what's changed for me. I used to be motivated mostly by fear. Then I became motivated mostly by duty. And now, after several years of reaping the consequences of living like that, and finally doing the personal work to change things, I truly feel motivated by love. And this might sound strange to you, and it's a little uncomfortable for me to share my weaknesses so publicly, but I've been around long enough to know that I'm not alone when I struggle. So today's podcast is for those of you who might struggle like me. And while I'm still trying to lock in the, motivated by love feeling in every area of my life, today I'm focusing on my professional work, specifically building the STEP program here at Learn, Do, Become. And I'm hoping you can relate, and as I'm just sharing my story, you can apply it to your situation. Okay, so first, let's talk about being motivated by fear. Back in 2015, when Eric and I started Learn, Do, Become, we were in a bit of a tricky spot. The 2008 recession had hit us hard, and we were still figuring out how to balance a variety of work-from-home jobs, 4 active children, and some time-intensive responsibilities in our church and community. The city that we lived in at the time was at least an hour away from the larger hubs for employment, and I worried that if Learn, Do, Become wasn't a success, then Eric would need to commute for hours a day to a job he didn't like, and then our family life would just become increasingly difficult. Now, as I recently spoke with Eric about all the worries I had back then, he was surprised because he was working right alongside me, putting in even more hours on the business than I was. And he understood that we had some decisions to make and some work to do, but he didn't have the same stress that I had bottled up inside of me. So in hindsight, I would have told him how stressed I was feeling, but instead I just worked a lot out of fear, trying to build the STEP program and take care of our Learn, Do, Become community as well as I could. And it's hard for me to say this because I don't want to imply that I didn't care about those who joined us during the early years or that I wasn't passionate about my work, because I love what we've created here. It's just that there were a lot of other factors going on behind the scenes, and I was so scared I was going to fail. And if you're in that fear part right now, I just am sending you a big hug because it's so hard. And sometimes you just can't even talk about it because you don't want to look afraid, but you are, and no one wants to hear it anyway. So I send you a huge hug. Okay, let's move into being motivated by duty. Now, the happy news in this specific situation is that with all that work and effort, Learn, Do, Become did turn into our full-time employment. We've had 9 beautiful years so far, and in my daily prayers, I continue to thank the Lord for our wonderful team and community and for the work that we get to do. But some of the middle years were a little rough because as our community grew, things became more complex. Like our team has to work on things like email deliverability issues and tech platforms that occasionally go down, and often big decisions that need to be made in this constantly shifting online landscape. For anyone who works online, you just know. You've been through it all. And over time, things are changing all the time. In fact, the last time that we updated our STEP program, it was because the business that had created the platform we had used initially to build it went out of business. So they weren't going to do any further updates, like making it mobile friendly or giving people the chance to check off lessons and mark their progress. So it was a little clunky and difficult to use. In fact, whenever I would upload a video, like they had this way you could just upload videos directly to the platform, but you couldn't pick the thumbnail. So the video would literally pick like the worst screenshot from the whole video and make that the feature. Anyway, it was kind of ridiculous, and it was starting to cause some problems just with the community growing and the platform not, right? And because I was motivated by duty and the desire to keep things running smoothly, I spent months recording new videos and figuring out a better platform with our team that we still use and love today. And we all worked together to create a brand new version of Step. That's the one that's up right now. And it turned out well and was definitely a worthwhile project. I mean, you can hear the testimonials coming in. It's exciting and it's great. But it was a project we did because we had to do it and not necessarily because we wanted to do it. And I'm guessing you've been there. There are so many projects we do because you just have to, you know? Okay, now let's talk about being motivated by love. Over the past few years, that fear and sense of duty inspired me to do a lot of work. And I want you to think about your own life right now. There are probably a lot of things that you're accomplishing and doing really well that are happening because you're afraid or have a sense of duty. So it's not like it's this terrible thing. And maybe you just handle all your projects fine and you're thinking, April, why are you such a delicate flower? Like, why can you not just do these things? But there came a point for me, as I've spoken about on previous podcasts, that my body finally said no. And I feel like I need several episodes to dive into what was happening and how I solved it. But as a quick summary, I got so stressed that I was regularly covered in rashes and could no longer digest my food properly. So this led to months in bed each year with one illness or another. And I kept working from my bed because the doctors and I didn't know that stress was the problem. But when I finally started figuring it out, I made some big changes. Slowing my work hours significantly and carefully focusing my energy and deciding I was not going to make decisions based simply on my deep desire to please others, because that's like the root of all that stress, is I felt like I had to do what everybody else expected me to do. So as I have mostly healed from my achievement addiction and physical burnout and people pleasing, my rashes have gone away, and I'm enjoying my relationships and my work more than ever. And I feel like my creativity and spark have come back. And sometimes you don't even know it's gone until you get that wake-up call. And the reason all this matters to you is because one of the main projects I'm currently working on is our third official version of Step. But I'm not doing it because of fear or duty, but because I genuinely want to create a streamlined, simplified version of the program, one that's built with the love I truly feel for our community. And this will spill out into all the free resources too. So if you are in Step, just know this is coming, and it's going to be a free upgrade for everyone who's already in Step Mastery or Step Self-Study. But if you've been thinking, oh, I really want to come into Step, then this is a great time. So because we've had so many thousands, tens of thousands of people join us in Step, we know where the issues are. Like, our team just kind of laughs because people will say, oh, I have this problem. And we're like, yeah, the revamp's going to cover that. we know where people get stuck. For example, at the very beginning right now, we invite people to get their emails to 0, or at least just watch the video on how to do it. And even though we say, hey, if you need more time on this, you can do this as a future project, don't get stuck here, people still just stop because they want to do it perfectly, right? So the revamp is solving that, because we're just kind of making that super simple and adding emails as like a future project. We're not making it a requirement to move forward. So we're making each step shorter, simpler, more focused, and instead of 8 modules, we only have 6. Anyway, it's going to be so fun. So I'm very excited about that. Okay, so I just want to explain in a professional way this Step program as I've been building it. I just thought, why am I loving it so much this time? And I realized because I'm being motivated by love. I'm not doing this because I have to. There's no duty involved. I mean, we could keep it how it is right now and it's fine. And I'm not doing this out of fear because there's no one telling me to do it. And I have no deadline where if I don't do it, something else is going to happen. I'm to a point now where I get to do it because I just want to do it. But I've noticed that makes a big difference. Okay, because these are kind of my closing thoughts. Although each of us has a unique life experience, this fear, duty, love trio of motivators actually seems pretty common. I'm betting that if you look at your life right now and you think, where am I most unhappy in the work I'm doing? Or, the efforts in my home or community or professionally, I'm guessing the areas where you're most frustrated is because there's a motivation of fear or simply duty. Not that those are wrong or you can't have those motivations, but if there's any way you can make this shift to love and try to work from that place. Anyway, I'm just finding it's working for me time and time and time again. I'm stepping back from that fear and just the simple duty. Anyway, it's been awesome. So thanks for being here. And I hope, as I've shared a little bit behind the scenes of my life, that you'll just know that you're not alone, because we're all becomers here. And I love that we can be a strength for one another. Here at Learn, Do, Become, we don't have to show up perfectly. In fact, the whole point is that we show up and say, hey, this is what I'm working on. This is who I want to become. This is what I'm doing. And we're all just here to celebrate and support. And it's going to be a lot of fun along the way. So I'm sending a huge hug, and watch out for more announcements about the newest version of STEP. Make sure you're getting our emails by going to learndobecome.com/inspiration, and we'll send you something each week that will give you a little lift, highlight community members, give you extra free resources, and let you know what we're actually doing here behind the scenes. Okay, before I close, I just want to highlight 2 more steppers. First is Angelica, and she posted this in early December of last year, 2023. She said, I just want to encourage everyone to use microbursts. I've been feeling discouraged lately about not getting many projects done. I am a work-from-home wife and mom of 2. My youngest is 18 months, and I find it nearly impossible to get anything done while she's awake. Plus, now her nap is later in the day after my son is home from school, so I don't get any kid-free time during the day. Additionally, we have a 15-year-old dog that has a lot of health issues, and he takes up a lot of my time. Between the dog and the baby, I'm constantly feeling overwhelmed, and I don't have time to work on things. My life is mostly routine, so I usually only try to accomplish 1 to 2 projects a month. Anyway, I was reflecting over the past 2 months, and I managed to get a huge photo book gift done for my dad, plan and execute Thanksgiving dinner, decorate for Christmas, write in and mail 40 Christmas cards, and buy and wrap about 30 Christmas presents. My house isn't clean, and I still haven't swapped my summer clothes to winter clothes. But when I look back at those accomplishments, which might seem few to some of you, but for me, with having no free time is a lot, I can confidently give credit to microbursts. I got it all done in 10 to 20 minute chunks of time. Bring on December. Oh, it made me smile. So good. Thank you, Angelica. And then this little comment from Adrian. We have some ads that we're going up on social media and advertising our free training at learndobecome.com/step. It's called How to Finally Stop Drowning in Piles. Anyway, below one of our ads, Adrian wrote, "Trust this lady because she knows what she's talking about. Her course literally changed the way I live my days. I now have a way to see my priorities and tasks in a manageable way, so my days and weeks are more productive and enjoyable." And I thought, oh, thanks, Adrian. It really means a lot. So if you ever see like some of our videos or things on social media, if you don't mind just, letting people know your experience, because that's huge. And a lot of people get scared because they think, well, I don't know, who's Learn to Become? What are they doing? But if you're able to say, actually, these strategies work, and even being part of the free community can benefit all of us. So anyway, hope that's helpful. Okay, so if you come to our show notes page, I will have a link to our newsletter sign up, to our directory, to our Create Your Year podcasts and templates, and you can learn about our STEP program if you're ready to come in and build your Command Central. We also have our Arise membership. That's where you can work with me and Eric and Team Learn to Become every month as we focus on one new topic every month. This next month, or right now in March, we're going to be focusing on finances and money mindset. That was always super hard for me, but we're pulling some principles from some of our favorite books, and we have a workshop style class. So you can learn more about that at learndobecome.com/arise, or just come to the show notes page and we'll have all the links for you there. Okay, sending again. How many hugs do I send on the podcast? You're like, April is hugging me through this whole podcast. Okay. Now I don't know what to say. I'm like, what else? High five? Okay. No, I'm just giggles. Okay, I'm stopped now. Have a great day. See you soon at learntobecome.com.